Darlene K in Levittown. Scope of work, you know, previous customer would do this type of work all the time. Scope of work is just gonna be shrub pruning and trimming, so pretty specific about everything, so just listen up to the notes, play back if you need to. Starting up front, this guy just trim and shape it, nothing too crazy. Over here, so these 1, 2, 3, and 4, she wants them trimmed and shaped. Although the only thing a little funky with it, the tops are fine, just do a usual light pruning of them, keep them green. Her issue is that she doesn't like how wide they're all getting, so she wants, like, width-wise, cut back pretty aggressively. She said like about a foot. And she knows, I told her it's probably gonna be brown. She's totally aware, fine with it. She said they'll come back, you know, so I think when you're done, it's gonna look a little funky, to be honest. It'll probably be a little bit brown all around. Top should be kind of green, because the top she's okay with. It's the width, it's like creeping in. Everything's getting too wide for her, so that's all for same concept, you know, shrink them all around, but then the top, just a light prune. Over here, Holly, kind of similar. This one, even the top, you could probably get a little bit aggressive. She said roughly a foot, trim back of everything. So get aggressive on that one. She doesn't like how big that one's getting either. And then walk around to the front here. All right, the rhododendron. So she wants this kind of aggressively cut back too. I mean, essentially she doesn't like how high it's getting and how wide it's getting. She doesn't like that it's like starting to hover over this and starting to hover over her lily of the valley, so, and it's starting to shoot out over here. So you can cut this back. Anything that's aiming up and in, you can kind of leave alone. So for example, when you get in here, this branch, she was saying in specific, like this one, you can cut it right here, but this branch that goes up and then it kind of goes back in, she's okay with that. She's fine with that. She really just doesn't want the stuff that's shooting way out. And I wouldn't even, like, I wouldn't just cut it right here, because we don't really want like this branch to just be cut here, because then before you know it, it's going to continue to grow and we're going to have the, you know, next year have the same problem. She really wants it to, you'll notice, like, she kind of cut some stuff out already a little bit, and then the growth is already starting to fill back in. She wants it more filled in and not like so widespread. And then the top, kind of cut the top down pretty aggressively as well, you know, somewhere below like the window. She wants it brought down too. So that's that. The spiral, we always do it, just keep the shape that it is, just prune it and shape the whole thing. Keep kind of the spiral going, so, you know, just as you trim it, just continue with the wave of the spiral, keep that all shaped up. This azalea, just a light trim and shape up. This guy, kind of similar, bring the height down, cut the sides out, cut the front out. She doesn't like how it's like starting to get out of her mulch bed, so cut all that back. And then over here, just kind of cut that back a little bit. So this one pretty aggressively all around, kind of cut back. The maple over here, she wants this pretty aggressively, like right here, chopped. You know, June, July is a good time to trim these, so chop this right here, she was saying, and then do your umbrella snip along the bottom, all along the bottom, and then over here, kind of snip. She doesn't like how it's hovering over all this stuff. She doesn't like how it's hovering over that plant. And then the top, she just wants it a little more like an actual umbrella. So probably 8 foot with the extender pole. I would say 12 foot, but you guys will make fun of me, so I'll say 8 foot. But just kind of like trim the top here and kind of cut this hairy stuff. Just wants it, again, more like nice round clean umbrella type of shape. And then the only other thing in the front here is all this lily of the valley. So this is lily of the valley right here, and this is iris. She said if you can keep the iris, great. She knows that might not be feasible when you're digging out all of lily of the valley. This stuff's really like intrusive. It really creeps, so we want to try to do our best to yank it and get like as much of the root as possible, that lily of the valley. All this kind of dug out and removed, and you can see it kind of creeping. She doesn't really want it at all. It's all creeping over here. She said it started out really small, now it's just all over. So she wants it all kind of dug out. These can stay, the other plants can stay, but all this lily of the valley, dig it all out. You can see it all over here. So all that she wants out. Again, iris, if you can keep it, great. She knows it might be too hard to do. So and the iris is at like taller strands. And then one quick gutter note. I'll have to bring the extension for this. So I'll put it as a separate line item for gutter cleaning. You know, maybe when somebody's doing gutters, they can even just spot check this. They said when it rains, this just turns into a complete waterfall. So they think there's some type of a jam up where that downspout is. She said she does have gutter guards, so you have to lift them up, but she's thinking something is causing blockage right in there. So maybe we can just check it out, see what it looks like. If there's something in there, clean it out for her. I'll put that as a little side thing, the gutter. All right, and then walking to the backyard. Before I go to the back, over here, we've done this for her before in the past, but she wants all this ground cover cut back. She said about a foot or so. So pretty aggressively, she's like all the way here. String trim it, brush cut it, whatever, haul it all away, cut it back a nice crisp cut. And then over here, we did this years ago, ivy trimming, I'll put it as, just cutting all this stuff back. It's creeping onto her walkway, just a good, again, foot or so. Go on to see stone here, just string trim, kind of cut it all down nice and fresh. And then she said, you'll notice there's like a tree growing up through here. There's like a tree growing up through here, she said. And then there's one down there, right there, you can see it. It's like a maple, almost like a maple leaf kind of weedy tree growing. So she said just pull them out. And then move into the back. Don't need to do anything on the inside of her property along the house. Everything's on the perimeter here. So this guy, we transplanted it last year and it just didn't survive. So dig that out, remove it. The hollies, all that's cool, but these two bushes she wants trimmed up, shaped up pretty good. And then she said aggressively, this one wants it cut all the way back to like the door hinges. So go real aggressive. She knows it'll be brown. She's fine with it. She doesn't like, she opens her door and it's hitting that. She wants it all the way cut back aggressively. I mean, trim the whole thing, but definitely that one side aggressively. This one, trim it back. And then on the top, she wants the top brought down to the bottom of the window. So she knows it's going to be brown top. She said it'll come back. It always does. This guy, light pruning shape of the whole thing, and then all these little suckers down here, she called them, cut all them out, get rid of them. This crepe myrtle you can leave alone mostly. Any suckers down here, pull them out, cut them out, whatever. And the only other thing we're doing is this whole branch here. Yeah, this one I think is okay. It's really just this branch, the one that's kind of like blocking her gate door. Originally she was like, just trim this, but then she's like, you know, just cut this whole thing out. Actually, I think she wants this whole, yeah, she wants both these cut out now that I think about it. So both these that are kind of aiming toward her gate door, just cut them down all the way down to the base, basically. The rest you can leave alone. She said in the fall we'll take care of that. We'll come back out. And then the last thing is the rose bush. So she said it's way too big. She wants it trimmed down all around. All this front stuff she wants cut back. She doesn't like how it's like overtaken all of her hostas. So she wants like all of the rows cut all the way back. There's this like weed maple tree that's snuck up in there. Try to locate where it's routed. I can kind of see it to the ground and ideally pull it by the root at the ground. There's another rose bush. You probably can't really see it on the video, but she was saying there's like two rose bushes actually. The one is the big one here, and the other one's like almost a stump. There's barely anything going on from it. So if you can try to dig that out, get rid of it, would be ideal. And that is it.